Hello everyone, this is Solus Convoy back again with another review. Hope everybody's doing well. Today we are going to be looking at Newage H42EX Shean Spy, which is their toy version of their Mirage. So here he is right here, and as usual, let's take a look at the box. And I actually really like this one. I think it's one of my favorite of the EX boxes. The art really evokes the original toy, and he looks really good standing next to it. So yeah, pretty great box. Definitely one of my favorites. Love the front art. As a figure, let's get right into an overlook of him. So the blue paint on this guy is fantastic. I mean, he just looks great from every angle because of it. Right off the bat, you're going to notice his proportions are kind of squat, kind of cute, but I think it really works for the aesthetic that the toy look is going for. It really works with that box art. The chrome parts here really add a lot, as well as the chrome feet, so that all looks great. I like the red right here. I love the yellow eyes. I love the new head. I think looks fantastic. I actually really like these squat proportions, but I know that people who are after a more toon accurate model won't like it, but this is the toy version, so yeah, he looks great. My only aesthetic complaint is that these tiny little parts, these hinges that are used to switch the arms to the alt mode position, because of how much I guess they're involved in transformation and stuff, they're unpainted plastic, as well as I think these parts right under the knee. I notice this on depth charge too. Sometimes these really critical load bearing pieces are left unpainted for good reason, because they're the highest prone areas to chipping. But I do wish there was a bit better match. It's actually not visible unless you're under direct light, but he is now, so it is visible. He feels great in hand despite his size. He does have, I think, some die cast on him actually. I think there's die cast in these feet. So it really helps him stand pretty easily. I think this is also die cast metal. I know these parts are mistransformed. I actually leave them up because I think it emulates the box art better. I like them better left up. So yeah, he looks great. Love how he looks. I like the new head. Again, this is, if you like how the G1 toys look, I think you'll like this. But if you don't, you might think it looks goofy. But the goofy proportions really help a toy Mirage. Let's get into a look at his articulation. So starting off, the cannon can go up, can wiggle side to side, but not much meaningful. The head is on a ball joint, which doesn't really get you that much up, just up to here. Pretty much no down, but gives you a nice side to side, and of course the full 360. Shoulders are on a ball joint, up 90, and then 360 around. You get a bicep swivel, right, that gets you 360 pretty much, and then you get an elbow bend that goes past 90, like 100. And then you don't have a wrist swivel, you have a wrist tilt inside, which is for transformation, so that's a bit of a miss, but this is a very tiny toy. Going down, you have a 360 waist swivel. You have a singular hip skirt which kicks up, and then here you have something fun, kind of like their depth charge. You end up with drop down hips kind of for transformation, so these can shift up and down. Then you have the universal ball joint, which can get up to here, but again, if you utilize the thing, you can get more if you use the drop down. Yeah, you can kick fully back and whatever. Thigh swivel, kind of a low cut, which might show up in some photos, maybe a bit ugly. And then a 90-degree knee if you force the kibble to work with you. So he's a bit, completely forgot about the foot. He has an ankle down, almost no up, but this goes down, and then it has a full, basically 360 swivel, so you can go both ways, but he doesn't really get that much functional ankle tilt because the majority of the foot's mass is back here, this is really just the toe, so it's not really his full ankle. So it's not like he can do like that crazy 125-degree ankle or 90-degree ankle tilt poses that well. Or I guess 75-degree ankle tilt poses. He's not very posable. He's kind of dumpy and cute and small, but I think he's even less posable than B, who's a bit smaller. So yeah, he's not exactly the most hyper-articulated posable bot. I think he might be one of Newage's least posable releases in the last 2 years, actually. But, he's got a lot of personality to make up for it, I think. But he's definitely not as dynamic as the other bots I reviewed on this channel. Also, really quickly, in terms of accessories, he pretty much only comes with what's pictured here. Like, he has a rifle and an alternate missile. Now, if you use the included tune missile, which will be attached when he's packaged, he actually no longer needs to parts form for transformation. He's one of the few Mirages that transforms completely without parts forming. There's no storage for the rifle, but if you keep this missile on, you'll never need to parts form. But if you want to use the toy accurate missile, then you will need to parts form for the longer missile. There's no storage for that, but you can always parts form this to store it in alt mode, or you don't need to. You can just leave this in the box if you don't want it. But that's pretty much it for accessories. And he has his rifle, which does look very G1 toy-esque and pretty cool. So yeah. So for a size comparison, here he is with Hasbro G2 Legends Megatron himself. Newage's depth charge was my previous review. Let's move him back so it doesn't seem like he's closer to the camera. And then Legacy Velocitron Clampdown. So Mirage is an adorably tiny boy. So for some alternate mode size comparisons, we have him here with Hasbro's G2 Legends class Tank Megatron. One of my previous reviews, Newage Tata, and then Velocitron Legacy Clampdown. So let's get these out of the way, and let's talk about his alt mode, which is where I think he really shines. Here's his missile, the smaller one as mentioned previously, so it kind of emulates the pilot's helmet, kind of, almost, if you squint. But other than that, I mean, this is just gorgeous. Like, let me get the lights on here so you guys can see stuff better and zoom in a bit. But like, look at these tampographs. I mean, these just look amazing, right? You have Elf, Satanas 26, Leisure, Satanas. I mean, this just looks fantastic from every angle. The silver paint accents, the beautifully painted silver, the perfectly painted blue. I mean, wow, right? Wow. And this is just such a fun little Formula One racer. The underside is not that bad, actually, kind of clean. And he just, rolls perfectly fine. I mean, he's just a very, 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 very fun little guy. Very fun little guy. Alt mode looks truly gorgeous, in my opinion. It is definitely the superior mode. It's where NA's carbots really excel. I mean, if you look at even their V1 van, this alt mode blows the robot mode out of the water. Like, it seriously looks great. Like, this stuff seriously looks great. I really like how this looks. The transformation is so fun. And I guess with that, we're tipping into final thoughts, basically. But I mean, this guy's transformation is so fun. It's so smooth. It's really, really satisfying to do. I think it's one of Newage's easiest ones, which is totally, I think, a good thing in this mold's favor because of the how like unbalanced it is, really, like in comparison to other third-party releases where the bot mode is the main focus. This one, in my opinion, really cooks as like a tiny, fun Formula One car to have with you and flip back and forth between modes. And if you don't really care about the bigger missile, then you can just leave the accessories at home and take this thing with you. Well, I mean, I wouldn't take third party with you in your pocket, but still. Really fun guy to mess with. He's not that posable in robot mode, but I mean, he's so small, I can cut him some slack, but I definitely would put that out there that he's not really that posable. No wrist swivels, again, it's kind of an oofy, not that much knee range. The proportions are a subjective thing. I don't find them to be a flaw, but I understand why people don't like them. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of that many negatives for this guy. I think the one negative is the price, because I've seen this figure priced obscenely. Like American retailers want like 65 for this. Even some like overseas retailers want close to 50 for this version. I paid 36 for mine, thanks to, you know, watching a for sale, because a tiny guy like this, 50 bucks, you're really pushing the limit. This was around that period with like Newage, Beachcomber, and Mirage, where like these tiny guys ended up being super expensive for no reason. I think their wheel jack is down to 35, so I think they might have stabilized a bit with the carbots, but I would not pay 50 for this. I love it, I absolutely love it, but I don't think it's a $50 toy. I think it is definitely a $40 or less toy, but if you really want it, I would pay the premium for this or the red version. But the blue paint on this one is just gorgeous. That's pretty much all I have to say. You know, this is a very niche release. I can recommend it if you like Formula 1 cars, if you like dumpy, cute Legends figures, if you like fun and satisfying transformations. But if you're in for like posability, tune accuracy, heroic dynamic proportions, a complicated transformation, this release probably won't really speak to you. If you want like budget value and like the things I mentioned before, like the alt mode and like the paint and the chrome aren't like exactly things that'll move you forward, then I don't think you'll like this release either. I really like this toy. It's one of my favorite Newage toys for some of the reasons I listed above, but I don't think that a lot of people really loved it, especially not in the tune version. But I mean, I really enjoy it. So yeah, like my personal recommendation is I love this. If you think that your interests align with mine, you like cool alts, you like dumpy little guys, then I'd say pick them up. But if you don't necessarily have my values, which I expect you don't, because everyone's different and that's beautiful, then I think you could probably pass on this mold. It's not like, outside of the alt mode and the transformation being fun and simple, it's not exactly spectacular. There's not much here that hasn't been done before. I think the Magic Square one is pretty cool if you want like a more dynamic and badass Mirage. So yeah, I've been talking too much, but you know, this is Souls Convoy. Thank you guys for tuning in and catching the review. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Peace out. Bye.